Thanks everybody for contributing to week four forum discussions. As you may recall that the week four the discussion forum was about choosing a particular research method and then talking about it in terms of its strengths that it offers as well as the weaknesses that it may have. I'm very glad to see a lot of participation from all of you. So in total, there were six research methods that were being discussed at the forum. So this week, what I have decided, instead of giving you individual feedback, I thought it would be better to give you a collective feedback in terms of what has been discussed on the forum, and to just provide a summary of some of the strengths and weaknesses of these methods. So the seven methods that you discussed on the forum include historical research, case study, ethnography, bibliometrics, survey, design research, and action research. So let's start with the historical research. So in terms of the strengths of historical research, it was being mentioned that it is highly relevant to the memory institutions, and a lot of GLAM institutions are memory institutions as well. For example, museums and archives, where a lot of historical collections are being kept. However, the historical research also poses some challenges. For example, it can be very difficult to sort large collections of available data, and the data can also be dispersed across various sites. And another important weakness of historical research noted was definitive conclusions can be hard to make, which is quite, I think, important. The second research method that many of you have discussed was case study. And it doesn't come to me as a surprise that one of the important strength of case study is its relevance to school settings. As we have a lot of students who are from teacher librarianship, so I think that's really good to see, that those students actually have highlighted its relevance to school settings. Obviously, case study is very context specific. Done in any setting, it is going to be very context specific. And it will provide deep insights. Depending on if you are using different methods of data collection in case study, then it will also enable you to do triangulation. And then because of these strengths, then there are some weaknesses also. Obviously, it is going to be very time intensive and large amounts of data will be collected. Then the third research method was ethnography. Ethnography, as you know, that we have discussed in one of the lectures, that it is going to produce rich descriptions. And because generally there are different data collection methods that are being used in ethnography, so therefore triangulation will be easier to do. Again, it will be highly time intensive. And I would like to also mention that you also will end up with large amounts of qualitative data with doing an ethnographic study. Bibliometrics. Very objective measure, a measure to assess the standing of a scholar in their scholarly circles, right? And because it's a very objective measure, so a weakness of this approach is that it lacks a qualitative perspective. So unless you have a more of an understanding that, okay, why the citations have been given to this particular scholar, and why their work merits so much importance, which is a qualitative exercise. A very popular research method is survey. So survey is going to provide a flexibility to include both the quantitative and qualitative questions. So as you can have Likert scale questions, but also you can have some open-ended questions. Another important highlight of survey method is that it can result in a lot of large amounts of data, which is its strength, and quite, I would say, in a short period of time. Important weakness of this method is there can be a response bias. There can be low engagement. And there can be risk of misinterpretation of questions, because when you are distributing a questionnaire, especially if you're using online environments, so the participants are not sitting before you, right? They're not going to ask you the question. So there is a risk of misinterpretation. Design research was another important research method that was being mentioned, and important strength of this method was its practical orientation and highly relevant to libraries. And actually, last night we discussed about co-design of libraries, a project, right? So, which is a design research. You can say it's relevant to design research because it is about co-designing libraries, and you are including stakeholders from practice also. Evaluation of this research method can be difficult, like the outcomes that are coming out of that. And finally, the seventh method that was being discussed was action research. As we know, that action research involves practitioners also. So obviously, there will be a lot of ownership from different stakeholders. Because it is action research, so outcomes will be highly relevant to the problems at hand, right? But one challenge can be that if people, either the researcher or the participants who are either professionals or coming from other disciplines or fields, if they are not trained in action research, then it can be very challenging to run this project with rigorous research design and obviously valid research outcomes. Thanks again for such a meaty discussion, such a deep discussion, and also covering, different strengths and weaknesses of these 7 research methods. All the best and keep it up.